That refrigerator wasn't fucking closed like it should be. I'm turning the steam table on. When there's too much ice, no dice. And it leaks because the drain system doesn't work. No. 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 Yes. I'm going over my list that I made for today. I already defrosted that refrigerator. It needs to be frosted twice a day, every fucking day. I cooked the lamb. This refrigerator has never been grounded properly. We're not sure why. I would be getting shock, constant shock, high electricity going through my body. This rack, which just barely holds on. If I don't put the coconut underneath, the weight of all the other shit just snaps it off. So there's not enough clearance between the shelf and the container to get the container in and out over that little lump. The whole place is like that. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you get punished right away. Something horrible happens, you know, which causes you to do penance, you know. In this particular instance, I'd be on my hands and knees, not just cleaning up the shit on the fucking floor, but having to fiddle the shelf back onto its hinges and shit like that. You know, it's the way you solve things around your house. It's not like you have a servant and a handyman coming and you do what the fuck you can do when you can do it. I like candy ash, you know? Things that are human scale, human expressions of ingenuity and reality. The kind of stuff that everybody has on their sitcoms on television, or who they don't want that to happen in their fucking life because it's not safe, it's not right. I mean, that's not really a right way to run a refrigerator the way I do it. Bread man used to steal from us. And this is the other thing my kids do wrong. They always set it at different numbers, whereas my wife always sets it at the same number. It's easy. So just so that there'd be no problem with the bread man stealing it. That feels like a sweet potato, no? I took a drill and I reamed out the burners so they delivered twice as much gas. I almost do better with assholes. It's a very adversarial relationship, a restaurant, with new customers. With old customers, it's really intimate and family-like. With all new customers, because I've been here like 32 years, they have to prove it to me that they're okay to feed.
Soft-boiled eggs, shreds, and black toast.
This is kind of like feeling somebody's pussy up. You know, you get to put this thing in your hand that has like this, like, you know what I mean? It's like viscous feel to it. It's not bad at all. And then when you cook it, it cooks different too. It's much friendlier than cooking eggs. Pick up! Everybody is 7 years old. This is a mature person. Has a job, has a family. He's gonna die someday, and he's gonna go to Wall Street and slaughter the third world nations today. And he's having chocolate chip pancakes for fucking breakfast. Good for him, huh? Hi, Jose.
The relationship with my dad and Jose is kind of different than he's had with any other employees, because Jose is like kind of like part of the family.
Jose and I, on the level of what we do for each other, we're like a perfect team. Because despite our great emotional, intellectual, and language differences, we both of us like to do the kitchen dance. He accommodates me because I'm a fat, old, nasty Jew, just like some white guy who has a Latin partner and does the samba. and have nothing else in common. And when we dance together, we're really good partners.
Okay, rye bread.
Kenny and I are very opposite in this way. He's much more pessimistic than I am. I'm optimistic. I'm more of a fatalist.
Why so optimistic?
And I feel that I'm a lucky person. Things work out for me, you know. Knock on wood, I have 5, wait a minute. Yeah, 5 healthy children who love each other. That's the thing that I feel best about.
I love coming in the morning, early 9, 10 in the morning, sitting in this bench with my dad or my mom and like getting the paper, and when it's not that busy, I'll cook someone some food and you can come sit back down. It just feels, you know, really nice. And I guess as a customer, it'd probably be the same thing.
It's a neighborhood thing, it's a family thing. It's not just the greatest restaurant where he cooks one of 900 dishes from scratch in a couple minutes, and it's unbelievable.
It's my kitchen. You know, I'm 4 doors down the street, and I fall into my kitchen.
Coming to this place, I feel like me. It's the only restaurant I can go into and walk in. Whatever lousy mood I'm in, it changes immediately.
And I tell Kenny, I'd like some Eagle skivers. And Kenny says, fuck that. I'm done with the grill. I ain't making you skeevies. You want skeevies, have them for dessert. You gotta have lunch first. He says, Kim, you want the skivers? Come back here, show me your tits. Most worthwhile flash I've ever done.
Never got sued.
Knock on wood.
I don't have any. But that's it. We didn't have any, we didn't kill anybody.
Well, a couple of people threatened to kill Kenny.
But that's only because I am who I am, not because of anything I did.
I always would order this Patsy's cashew chicken and scallions and lemon juice and cashews. And I said, something tastes different here, but I can't figure out what it is. And then I hear this voice whispering, Noah, Noah. It's my name. And Kenny's over at the counter with a handful of cashews. He said he forgot to put the cashews in, so he just like gave me this handful of cashews and put it in the food. It was really nice because I knew there was something missing, but I didn't know what it was.
And he was here before. Larry, you worked here before Charlie was born, as well as after, or just after?
Worked the counter. I was the manager at the time, like stock boy manager, whatever. So I've been in that store ever since.
His life around completely to being an honest, productive citizen and a good father, from being a turd, an absolute fucking turd.
When I left, Kenny gave me a 10% discount for life.
There was this kid that came in here every day, macaroni and cheese, or he would have pancakes. And one day, he says, I can't decide what to have. So I said, don't worry, Matthew. I'm going to decide for you. Macaroni and cheese pancake.
Egg and cheese pancake.
Barbecue chicken pancakes.
Chocolate chip pancakes.
Postmodern pancakes. Basically, you make some pancakes, and then you chop them up, and then you throw them in pancake batter again.
Giant glazed apple nut pancake. The thing that's cool about it is how we glaze it. Watch, you'll see in a minute. I don't make much money on this bread. They got me. These people from North Carolina who aren't city slickers, they know value when they see it. You gotta kill flies all the time because flies continually in the neighborhood. There are certain flies, like I just said, bred to be high flyers. That's how they survive in the restaurant because they're high flyers. All the ones that are low, we kill. You know, it's very existential killing flies. You kill them one at a time, and that's it, they're dead. You know, it's almost like a national politics in Afghanistan. You know, once you kill those cocksuckers, they're finished. But they can breed people that you can't catch. And that's almost what happened with third world people. Over the years, we've bred people who are impervious to bourgeoisie demands, and they're willing to die to kill us. They bred to a point where I can't kill the high flyers. So I got a device that does, and that's what we're absolutely engaged in now in this country, is trying to come up with a defense that kills the high flyers, the people that are willing to sacrifice their life to destroy our malignant life form here. I wish them luck. Because no matter what they do, the next enemy is going to be from within. That's the eventual outcome of all fly killing and whatnots like that. Once you get rid of the external enemy, you have to deal with yourself. So that even if you solve all the outside evils, you're left with your own. You know, the evil your parents did to you and the evil that all parents do to all people. Anyway, I like killing flies.
The village has been gentrified, but there's been holdouts trying to keep it a neighborhood. And the neighborhood people are losing.
Yo. Yes. I haven't moved any place. I'm right here. This place at $6,500 a month, which goes to like almost $9,000 at the end of 5 years. What I have here, the relaxed, gradual, integrated nature of my existence, in which my customers drift in and are serviced and interact with each other, that in this place at $6,500 a month, I have to bust my fucking hump. There's a whole lot before that, but the end of it is that when the new landlord took over the building, after we made a feeble attempt to buy it, if I hadn't lost all my money in the market, I would have bought it. I think it would have been a mistake, but anyway. The new landlord summoned us to his office. Proceeds to offer me a 1-year lease. After 32 years in business, a 1-year lease, which is like really stupid. It's not an offer at all, it's an insult. If I say no, and you rent it out to a new tenant, that you're gonna get more rent than you've just asked me for. He said no. And I said, well, are you gonna offer them a 1-year lease? He says, no, but I have, he said, I have you over the barrel. You can't do anything. You have to take it because you can't relocate. So he says, try it for a year, see if we like each other. And I said, from the evidence, I don't think I'm ever gonna like you. He said, that's the best deal you're gonna get. At that point, I realized that, I was fucked. That a lot of the things that we've created because of our piecing, the strength, it's almost like building something with ants or with big blocks. That the sub-strengths which help in the depth and the impact of the product going to disappear in a couple of weeks.
I mean, he doesn't go out, They don't, go to their friends' houses. They used to. All of my dad's friends just come to him. So if the restaurant's not there, it's not like he lost his job or his business. It's like he lost his life.
I go through mood swings on a really primal level. If you look at a personality development as a line of soldiers marching forward, there were ranks breaking way back. A lot of the soldiers were marching forward into the battle of life, but there were a lot of guys just found a hole and crawled in. They didn't go no place. The only thing that's good about me is that the troops keep marching forward to new battles, and they don't dig in and say, this is it for us. We're done fighting. We're now going to relax and coast along and play poker and clean our rifles for the rest of our fucking life. But, life with one leg is just a limp.
I don't think I'd be a regular here if I wasn't his son. I don't think I'd have the balls to come in there day after day.
Somewhere in '86, I came in and I just wanted to have a cup of coffee, so of course I got thrown out the door.
I wanted coffee and I got shouted at.
I came back with 4 friends and we got thrown out the door.
I had the honor of being kicked out. I think everybody should.
He started shouting at her, and my wife and I are sort of hiding behind our menus, hoping that the whole thing would blow over.
No fucking way.
And Kenny says, fuck you.
Fuck off, go away. And I was afraid I was about to be banned from the restaurant.
From where I'm sitting, that's all part of the fun.
I don't feel sorry for them. I just kind of Dad.
The people we eschew strongest who believe that they come into the restaurant and you're supposed to do something other than open up, be open for 32 years, cook the food. I reject that totally. I do more than they do, and they can go fuck themselves. There was a guy there who I kicked out 5 years ago, owned the place. He came in with a group of 6. And I kicked him out. And he says, there's no one else in the restaurant. I says, no, you're in the restaurant. When you go, then there'll be nobody else in the restaurant. Well, I said, everybody who's a regular customer knows you don't come in with more than 4. I said, the fact you didn't know means you weren't a regular customer. Who the fuck needs you? I said, I should have to explain to you why we have the rule? Do I have to explain to you how when you make a rule, you have to try hard to enforce it at the end? Before I left, I walked over and I gave him a great big kiss on the lips. More, huh? Yes, more. Turkey in here, Jose.
I'll take one of them. We take.
Stop! JJ's way. You don't need me for that.
Uncle Elias has lunch special, turkey sloppy Joe salad.
Yeah, this is not the same place. Just one of the last papers. Stop! Soil's done. Evie! The papooses of the John? Number one, put the bear in there.
Egg burrito packets, Paula, scrambled, well done.
You know, if you're on television, they'll segue away and come back 10 minutes later after this is sauteed. But I don't go for that shit. I'm not waiting. So I put a little bit of stock in, cover it, and in just a few seconds it'll totally fucking cook.
He always gives me nice, wholesome flavor, flavored, excellently cooked large portions of food. And I always tell him no mushrooms in anything, from the coffee on down.
I think this is the corned beef and cabbage latkes.
You think?
I think.
The blister's on my sister's.
And what is it?
I'm not sure.
Chocolate, orange, French toast. You know, there are a lot of things on my menu. If you put it together, you can go someplace I've never been. I took a banana boat, and I put bananas in it, and then I took ice cream scoop, and I made pulled pork and coleslaw in like an ice cream sundae. I called it barbecue banana split. It's almost like putting your dick in the wrong hole, you know? There's like a thrill to it. There's a friction that occurs when you put an ingredient in an improper dish. That's the basis of all fusion cooking, is that there's a sexual friction that's caused by putting the wrong food in the wrong place. And sometimes it works, but not always. That has cheese. Tell them it has cheese. See if it comes back.
This is quinoa cilantro soup.
Chicken dumpling soup, sweet potato vegetable soup.
Russian cabbage soup with beef.
Chicken tortilla and avocado soup.
Senegalese shrimp soup.
Cuban black bean soup.
This is the favorite thing of mine that I make. I don't have, you know, whatever my cooking abilities are, my eating abilities are really basic. I just love fucking chili. The basis of it is that the deep meat flavor comes from adding a little bit of coffee. I've had some of this chili every day for the past 30 years, and I really work on it.
It's Kenny who just gets better and better doing it.
What was wrong with this soup?
And I check on all the food too. If anything's left over, why? And we'll taste it to make sure that there's nothing wrong with it.
Hey, Kenny, what's up with the candy?
People take candy. Oh, this is like a documentary, small question for a big answer? Fuck yourself.
Talk about how you fell in love with me when we came here, and we made a special day because I moved to California to come here to shop since because we know it's shutting.
And you're still a couple?
No.
We were a couple 10 years ago.
Sadly, I guess to admit this, but while I loved you dearly, I think it was the wild mushroom cream.
So these are on eBay for $5. They're like a $200 item. It's also my tribute to the trade towers. What time is it? 2 o'clock? That's all it is 2 o'clock? That sucks. I could close this joint up and get 500 square feet on Bleecker Street and sell burritos and make more money than I make now. All of the things that you do right in this business, don't do right because you're a wonderful person. You do right because you have no fucking choice. But of course, I don't always do everything right. A lot of times I fuck it up totally. Burn this one or undercook that one. I've seen food come back and I look at it and I say, whoa, what a fucking asshole you are. Could you do something like that? We had entered into a bad relationship with an exterminator. Somebody found a roach in one of the soups about 8 years ago. Certainly doesn't mean anything in the history of the earth, you know, but in your relationship with that person, it's just you, them, and the soup. Yeah, this is like a huge event of incompetence on your part, of unhappiness when in fact they come to your place rather than McDonald's or the supermarket to get something other than good food. They want to get some satisfaction, and this woman didn't get anything. Essentially, she got nothing but abuse. No, it's a horrendous event for both parties. So yeah, that's happened here. It's okay to do stupid things. It's not okay to do stupid things when you notice them. Not that we have high standards, but that they're gonna put it in their mouth.
Let's see, we have a little taco fried steak here.
A hot turkey sandwich with sausage stuffing on black bread with cranberry relish.
The Minda chicken salad, turkey, bacon, and coleslaw.
The Edmonton.
Thai cob, cilantro, pistachio, curry, grilled chicken.
Portobello mushrooms with gnocchi and cashews.
Okra chowder and date nut rice.
Egg burrito, cheese melt.
My food is loaded with butter. Sorry, it's just a dead fly. You know, and I wonder sometimes about the morality of my profession as to whether or not what I'm doing is essentially wrong. Not the service part, not the sentiment part, but that I'm an enabler. But the reason I justify it is that I ride a motorcycle, which is equally stupid, that if you want to eat pancakes with sugared fruit on top, and you get a good deal of pleasure from doing that, you have the right to pursue that pleasure. Just like the guy that sells me the motorcycle. It's not really my place to judge these people. That's what freedom is all about. Where is it? Is it not here? Because now it's the end of the shift and I'm tired. All the food blends together in my head.
It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. It's nothing to do with you guys. It has to do with the family. Okay, it's just too much. We know what he said. Then they're gonna. He's my father. I'm not gonna burden him with something my father said. I am sorry.
It's kind of like the rules of the place in general. Like, you either know them or you don't. Like, if a friend brings you in, you know the rules that they tell you. And if you walk up off the street, you know, you're in for a surprise.
Okay, so.
Should I read the whole thing?
Yes, please.
Party of 5. You could put a chair at the end or push the tables together, but don't bother. This banged up little restaurant where you would expect no rules at all has a firm policy against seating parties of 5. And you know you are a party of 5. It doesn't matter if one of you offers to leave, or if you say you could split into a party of 3 and a party of 2. That's what we said. Or if the 5 of you come back tomorrow and Richard Nixon masks and try to pretend that you don't know each other, it won't work. You're a party of 5. Even if you're a beloved regular, even if the place is empty, even if you bring logic to bear, even if you're a tackle for the Chicago Bears, it won't work. You're a party of 5. You'll always be a party of 5. 100 blocks from here, 100 years from now, you will still be a party of 5.
Oh my God.
That's what happened to us.
I can't believe it. A poem about us. Could you come in if you were 6?
Shopson's does not do takeout. In fact, you might get your head bitten off if you ask for them to do something. But they fed me, you know. I mean, I was really, really ill, and they would do, you know, they would put stuff together in containers, and friends would come over and pick it up and bring it over. And I don't know, that's just, it sounds all sentimental and everything, but you don't forget gestures like that, because it makes you feel like you really are home.
Somebody who truly tries to create something beautiful and lovely. And people who create things to neutralize the venom that they produce every night in their dreams. And I'm definitely the second type. That I cook to neutralize some type of Freudian mother breast-related problem that resurges in me just like Old Faithful all the time. And I can't get rid of it. It's in there. It's mixed in worse than AIDS could be mixed in. I used to think that the only way for change was through Freudian analysis. There is no hope other than that. I went like 14 years, 5 days a week. It takes you back to the point in your life where you stop developing normally, and it uses the psychiatrist as a good parent, and you just grow up all over again in a short period of time. But there may be other ways. That's not my field of expertise. I know it's really hard. It's really hard. It's like trying to find something that you haven't lost. The guy that eats here, who was going to be my lawyer to help me try and do something with this place, and this landlord says, you know, I have a space in my place that might be good for you. And I said, sure. Because to me, that's like the golden tone. Is when somebody I know who's already been involved with me for some other serendipitous reason suggests that we deepen our relationship.
A lot of what I do in my job is merely helping wealthy people get wealthier. I didn't have the courage to step in the front door because of their reputation in the neighborhood.
If you look straight down there, over the top of that post office truck, you'll see a bulbous green awning. That's it.
It actually seemed like a perfect suggestion to bring Kenny here because it's only 2 blocks away.
And he's been kind of my advocate in this all.
When my brother and stepbrother wandered by the restaurant and saw Kenny asleep in the front window, my stepbrother turned to my brother and said, "You're kidding, right?" Richard decided that the best way, in fact, the only way to accurately determine whether or not Kenny's food was of a caliber that Richard felt was appropriate for a restaurant in our building was to try it out incognito. And so Richard dressed up in a beret and a pair of sunglasses and had a lunch, and somewhat begrudgingly reported to my brother that the food was excellent and that the service was courteous and friendly. And to Richard's credit, when it looked like Kenny was going to lose at the last board meeting, it was Richard who said, you know, I think that maybe we should give this guy a chance.
So, the other place, you know, Mark, for all the bullshit with his brother, they're all decent people who treat other human beings with respect, even people that don't deserve it, which is the big demarcation point, I think, in human behavior. If you treat people with respect who don't deserve it, it's a mark of high civilization. Because you never know who's only temporarily deserving of bad behavior. So you try to treat everybody with a morality that makes you a good person, not whether or not they deserve to be treated well. And I feel really much more comfortable with those people. Shut the fuck up, Sam. I didn't want to leave the neighborhood. The right thing to do is what my daughter Melinda said, and that's to go out to Brooklyn and buy a building on Smith Street, because that's all the money I had left. Or not to lose my money in the stock market and buy this building and stay here forever in my own fucking museum.
And we found out 6 weeks before I was due that we were having twins. And I called Kenny, and for the only time I can remember in my whole life, Kenny was speechless. I don't know how I did it. I would be able to nurse them standing up, two of them at the same time. I'd be packing groceries, you know. And then we would just ship them off with the customer when it got too crazy. He loves doing the brunch on Sunday. And for me, it's a nice break. And let them run it. And it's okay if the restaurant has a life without me for a day a week.
You know, I like cooking, and I like cooking for people, but I don't know if I'd like it for the rest of my life.
Are you good at it?
Yeah, I'm good at it. It's in my blood.
We've been friends for over 35 years. I was the best man at his wedding. Oh, I think definitely that chips off the old block.
You're putting too much thought. Just do it.
Now what do I do? Okay?
Ah, not okay.
I'm really glad you helped me out there. That was a lot of fun.
And I burnt my finger.
Good. Notice how everybody deserted me and left it for me to clean everything up? That's the difference between being a parent and an employer.
What are you gonna do this summer? Work with this motherfucker?
I mean, he's got some really fucking weird half-baked philosophies. Like, have you ever given the whole thing, like, he thinks until your kids are 18, you should be able to kill them if you want?
There are in this city a large number of people whose hobby is not going out and getting fist fucked and is not going out and collecting porcelain dolls. Their hobby is going out and going to restaurants. A lot of people don't understand that in most kitchens, everything that's ordered gets cooked by somebody. You ask your mama for a peanut butter sandwich, your mama takes some fucking bread, takes some fucking peanut butter, and makes you a fucking sandwich. It's the same thing that happens in this place. Except I'm not your mama. My family always orders pain in the ass shit. It's a way to get even.
Most like my dad.
None of us.
None of us. None of us at all. Us all combined probably are like Kenny.
I think more like he does, and so I know what he's gonna say before he says it, and I kind of I counter his mind.
I'm not like my dad. I'm like my mom. I do everything that my dad hates about it. I have all those attributes. I'm lazy. I know how to have fun, which he doesn't like, because Kenny does not know how to have fun. That's his biggest problem in the world. He doesn't know how to relax.
He doesn't know how to relax. I don't think he doesn't know how to have fun.
He doesn't know how to have fun. Because Zach, I know one of your best attributes is that you can sit there and have fun for the rest of your life. I cannot do it. I need to work. He can have fun.
He has fun
He can have fun working, but he doesn't completely let himself go like me or Mom does. God, now you're gonna make me feel bad because you have like the camera by me.
All right. It's not like anyone
I
doesn't know
know,
about
it's
you.
like looking into a mirror of your soul. 'Cause it's the
You gotta do is get my dad stuff.
That's what I've been saying for like 15 years.
And he was talking about how they take a glass of Coke, like half Coke, half like fucking rubbing alcohol, and they'd fucking just chug the thing and like.
He told me when I was a little kid he used to put grease on like these really steep hills, and him and his friends used to go hide in the bushes and watch cars slide down. Like for real. Fucking crazy bastard. And he screams at me.
Bottom line, I gotta have one $700 a week employee to clean up all the time. That means I have to make 700 hamburgers. That means I have to have 700 customers extra. And to have to do more business, either I'm gonna be in the kitchen more, or the food that goes out is gonna be less good. Okay. And we have a few questions too. So,
That fire extinguisher hasn't been done for a year either.
it's too small for me.
Just
do several elevations per day. Oh yeah, lose weight. That's better. I like that.
I think that's smarter.
That's a mission. We'll do that together.
No, but we have 20 tables, so the waiter, they knows what table it is.
Okay. I was just curious.
Dad,
Yes?
the handle's on the fridge.
But it looks like it stays closed.
Yeah, stay close. And we have it for 5 years like this.
I believe you.
You know what I mean? And
believe
you're not buying the business from us, you know. We're giving you
I
for
understand.
free. So don't ask so much thing for a little thing, please. We are sick already. Let us go just finally. You know what I mean? Detailed thing, you know.
You weren't feeling that way when you went from 30,000 to 50,000.
Stop. Look. The two of you, please.
You know something?
Okay.
I'll tell you something. We have a deal,
Samir.
and we have some people offer us $300,000 fucking $1,000, $300 fucking $1,000 in this place. You know, 2 week ago before that happened. So just please don't. We are giving you everything,
Samir,
and we wish you
Samir,
good luck.
Samir,
You know what I mean?
Kenny.
Samir, you're right. I'm wrong. I apologize. I'm sorry. You're absolutely
We're
right.
going out with nothing. We have kids and family.
I'll stop acting.
Since when I stopped to
I'll
your wife,
stop
okay.
acting like an
All right.
asshole. I'm sorry. Okay? Okay? You accept my apology?
All right.
I'm very sorry. Okay, let's go to the basement.
Air conditioner, exhaust system, walk-in box. This is the walk-in box. Steel shelving, tables, chairs, dishes, glasses, cutlery. I'm giving him a chance to object. If he wants to object, then he's not objecting.
See you tomorrow, Samantha. And I'm sorry if I upset you. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to upset you. It's not my intention. But I have this strong feeling that this awareness of myself and my position and things, because one, some guy gave me a huge amount of money to help me in the move because I'm broke from my stupidity in the stock market, and 3 other people have offered me money. And all of a sudden, I feel like a cross between an endangered species and a closet intellectual. Come talk to me about it. He could. If they have a lawyer who's really smart, they'll get a year. What do we do during that year? There's just nothing we can do about it. It's beyond our ability to do it. And you should do, you know, you're too young, but you should put yourself in their position. They took that space 18 years ago. 18 years ago, that was 2 crappy stores. Absolutely everything in there. The bathrooms, the floors, the ceiling. They don't want to leave. Now you're angry at me.
First time I saw it, I was just stricken by that. I'm not saying anything. I'm just telling you how I feel. And you're like, you got angry at me last night.
I got angry last night because it was...
Then you weren't angry enough not to bring it up now.
I have to cook with her today. I better be nice to her. When she gets mean. When she gets mean, she's no fun to cook with. And you know, she's a very sweet, lovely girl, but when she cooks, she's vicious. Now she's telling him he hasn't shut up for 2 days. He's running his fucking mouth like he's stoned. That's what she's saying.
He'll have to deal with stuff he doesn't want to deal with, whether growth is forced upon you or you dive into it. You know, it's something that helps you mature, maybe a little bit into a more graceful life.
It's going to take forever to fix that place up. Forever. Mara said it to me so much I yelled at her last night. She keeps saying that we're getting ripped off, that everything they have is old, moldy, non-working. They have a fucking... And not suited to us. You ever see Women in the Dunes? It's about a guy, through some circumstance, finds himself in this deep pit with a woman. And he's not sure how he got there exactly. And the woman is loving, you know, and they have sex. And he has to get up every morning and he has to dig sand out, put it in a bucket, pull the string, and the bucket goes up and automatically dumps the sand out. If he doesn't do that, they get buried in sand. And sometimes, without the spiritual part of my life, it feels like that, you know? I guess it feels that way to everybody, right? You know? Although I don't really mind digging sand, to tell you the truth. So, he calls me up yesterday, last night. At 1 o'clock today, I'm supposed to go. I have a certified check for $50,000. That's it. I go to the Magic Carpets, my place. He tells me that there's a place on Hudson Street, a store. You know, this is a business. You know, I don't have the option to overlook a least possibility.
And it's so nice, you know, that somebody wanted, you know, somebody that we thought really didn't like us all that much, because she doesn't come in that often, to know that she was touched by our position. Things like this have been just happening from all over the place, and that's been so good for our souls.
So she's now offering me this premises, which really isn't a restaurant, right around the corner, supposedly at a better rent. I have to decide really quick if it's better. Here, you keep taking breakfast orders, we're never gonna go to the restaurant. Maybe I'll send Jose over.
I think he loved it. I think the problem is that we're way too far into that deal.
What do you think we should do? Well, give me an answer. I have to decide at 1:15 today what to do. It's not a matter of it being an intellectual exercise. This is where in reality, on the 30th of this month, I have to be out of this fucking space. How much work is it? There's nothing. It is raw space. No walls, there's no floors, and it'll take time. We don't have time. You really want to go for the big shot, huh?
Yeah, that's what we talked about it, that you were going to move forward and blah, blah, blah. Remember that?
Yeah, but you know, I'm a whore.
I know.
This is another part of what I do. I have additions, I have corrections, and I constantly edit the list. This isn't a great tradition of all good kitchens, this type of shopping. It's just the level at which I do it is appropriate for the level of my creativity and of my station in life. I know who I am, I know what I do. Normal cooking. For normal people. You see any arrows on these bags? I opened it right up. A lot of people, if there's not an arrow on the bag, they're in a lot of fucking trouble. You never know when you're gonna need to open a plastic bag either. Nothing that you see here will exist by next week. It's a different place, it's different people. Nice. Is the national vegetable apparatus more humane than the national beef apparatus? The harvest of those lovely organic vegetables that your wife eats, there's some fucking brown person get his skin ripped off his body while he picks it, dying at 35 instead of 68 because they're malnourished and overworked, living in a place disease and vermin, and being paid money in a plantation system which always finds a way, just like our government does, to take back almost all the money they give you. Because if you end up with a lot of money at the end of the growing season, you won't go back. You'll go somewhere else. You'll buy a fucking pair of shoes and get a job in the post office. Now, in the new restaurant, if I do the shopping, this big change in my life is I'm going to have to go right on Clarkston Street instead of going right on Morton Street, which is okay for me because the Morton Street people are not as nice as they think they are. This guy's supposed to meet somebody here for breakfast and we're closed? What do you think? He's Doesn't look happy. And then we're gonna open the gate up and he's gonna feel good for a second. He's gonna feel bad again. So you gotta shoot him to see if I'm right? Yeah. There was a moment there where you had a glimmer of hope.
Well,
Just
yeah,
a little
about
glimmer.
a second.
Despite the fact that you read the paper and everything.
No, I didn't read anything.
Oh, there it says right at the gate.
Note about it? Oh, okay, so it's a trick.
What address do you want on the restaurant to have? 28 Bedford Street or 54 Carmine? I'm tempted for Carmine.
I think it makes more sense.
And it's a nicer name to have a new
Because
name.
otherwise you're going to be explaining the answer.
Carmine
It's not
Carmine is a hard syllable. I think it might be a new image for us.
Yeah.
The last time in a segment of your life is less difficult to accept than the last time in your life. And this is the thing where I come out all right. Because for all of the things that have gone wrong, it's an opportunity for regret. You never know. Regrets are like children. You don't really know if you really want to have them until it's too late to do anything about it. And I don't have that many regrets. And that despite my real affection for this place, the bond that I'm going to miss is the bond of enforced confinement. And I would hate very much to go from one physical dependency on environment to another one. But to float free, it's not so easy for somebody who's been dependent on environment for his stability. I don't really want to go out and plow the fields with everybody else, but I'm not really interested in living in Iowa in the mountains someplace either. So we'll see what happens.
I'm happy that everyone's here. It's like a family affair.
Shops? This is our last day, so it's kind of floating free. I can't tell you a thing, except we're open now.
Should be fun if it doesn't get too busy.
How you doing? Years in the business have taught me that if you cook too fast, they leave, then you have to cook again. When I was really young, I was as heavy as I am now. And I lived in 38 Morton Street next to a woman who was really crazy. I mean, every time I came home, you fat, you bastard. Every night, for years. And then I went on like a diet, and I lost a lot of weight. And one night, I came home, and she says, you Jew bastard. And I went there, I said, holy shit, she complimented me. And I turned around, and I said, thanks, Betty.
We're sitting and eating, and they had a bris here. And the mohel cutter of the weenie came, and he wasn't extremely thrilled about the place because there was a big 20-pound ham cooking up on the counter. I think he disliked Kenny so much, he said something nasty to him about the weenie that he just worked on. And Kenny went charging after the guy and was screaming at him.
Everybody all day was absolutely persuaded that Zach's foreskin ended up in one of the dishes, or perhaps in several.
Perhaps the new place will open up some things for Kenny in terms of the kind of cooking he can do. It's whatever he wants to do. It's I know that it will be an interesting experience for me, and he's walking around behind me, and this is terrifying me because I don't know what he's doing, and he's so unpredictable.
I haven't been over to look at that place. I guess it looks suspiciously like a restaurant, though.
I haven't seen the new place, don't know nothing about it. This place has something in it that no other place has.
What do you think that is?
Chutzpah. The vibes are great. It's just a great place to sit and eat. And you never know what's going to come out of his mouth.
What? Chocolate orange French toast with maple glaze and a side of bacon.
Yeah. But don't come. This is our last day. We're not taking any new customers. It's all finished for the day. Yes. Thank you. Asshole.
If he ever changes, I'll kill him.
I hope it's a psychological reaction to being kicked out of here, is that I'm out. I don't feel like cooking here anymore. And she is taking command. If it wasn't for her organizing things, I wouldn't be even in the ballpark here.
Some other enchanted evening, you may meet a stranger. You may meet a stranger.
Not much stranger.
Not much stranger across a crowded baguette.
I mean, the guy's been closing here over the past few weeks. He's still creating dishes.
Ken once recently described this place as being like the rings on a tree, where he can look around and see things that are from last week, and he can look around and see things that are 15 years ago.
I'm happy this is going to be a new place. I'm sure it will be as uniquely Shopson's as this was, and just in another way.
John, do you want Pellegrino?
Please, honey. Thank you. They know what I want.
See the cup? That's after I do this, it drips sometimes. So that after it dripped and we cleaned it up a lot of times, the solution to the drip was this. And the problem with leaving this place is that the whole place is loaded with my solutions.
Kenny would give everything away. Money's not that important. It's the end result of doing a good job.
You know, some people play a role in helping people feel better. And sometimes they do it just by being themselves.
The store brought us everything, you know? It fed us, it gave us intellectual stimulation. It opened so many doors to us. Whenever you needed to know anything, there was a customer who was just the person.
What do you think about the change moving on in the new place?
I don't fucking like it.
You know, my son, when he was really young, the first time he actually took a shit in the toilet, flushed the toilet, the shit's swirling around, and he looks at it and he says, "Have a nice trip." Meaning that that wasn't shit to him, that was part of him that's going away on a journey. And this is, you know, I'm saying have a nice trip to my store.
No, كان يبوس ده يبرو إنه هي.
I just lost my fucking piece of paper, son of a bitch. I had a piece of paper with a list of things to do. And I lost a piece of paper.
Mom, can you wake up Zach and have him come over now?
I'm sweating in the fucking kitchen working my balls off so I can pay you. Scumbag. Talk to Evie about all that shit. I don't want to be bothered with fucking douchebag. What's Zach doing? Sleep. He's not waking up. You know? I can't wait till he fucking goes to college. I won't have to deal with his shit anymore. A fucking jerk. Yes. Forever. forever. Tell them forever. It's forever. This place is never going to be open. Don't be nice to people. It's a big mistake. I'm going to go to the house and physically assault him. Exactly. Good you're not going to be there.
I missed it. Yeah. I thought it was going to be this week. Yeah.
We move fast, Brian.
There it is.
Tomorrow doesn't know where you hooked the phone up. When you contracted to have the phone service come into the building?
Yes.
Where? You don't know. Who do you think might know? Who knows? Nobody? You don't know, and you haven't the clue, is that right?
I don't know.
Cool. That's really cool. I have to run over there now. I want all the artwork and everything loaded into the van. See if you can do it without fucking things up.
Oh, this is Kenny, and this is how he reacts to things. I just don't pay any attention to it. If I got upset about everything he did and every name he called me, you know, I would be in big trouble. I've developed techniques, and I just leave. You know, I go outside for a few minutes, or I go in the bathroom, or just, you know.
Young well?
I don't understand that.
I put in an hour, and
What
then
does the ticket say? I told you to buy the soda. I told you to put the parking in there.
I did, and then fucking I go and put in another fucking 50 cents in there, and fucking there's a ticket. I'm telling you, the guy must have said, waited for the exact second the shit ran out, because it could.
Well, why didn't you keep the meter going?
Because I was fucking working.
You don't get it? You
I
really
get it.
don't get
I
it?
get it. I get it.
You really don't get it, do you, Zach? It's like unfucking believable. I ask you to do a fucking job and you don't do it. It's really simple, isn't it? What's the get? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You don't think it's unbelievable? You stole the fucking extra money, right? You took the
It's
extra...
in my fucking pocket.
You took the extra money, you bought an ice cream with it, but you didn't do what you were supposed to do.
I did fucking do that, but...
Are you telling me that you got that meter going and that meter made as well? Are you telling me you did what you were supposed to do?
I guess not. You got it. You're right. I fucked up.
What would it have cost you to go out there and put another 2 quarters in?
Nothing.
Then why?
I don't know.
Well, try to think about it, Zach.
I don't know. I was busy working. I was moving chairs.
You were busy doing something that didn't have a deadline, and you gave up something that did.
The thing is, he's so good at arguing that quite often he'll win arguments where he's wrong, and they like can't imagine ever telling their dad, telling their dad to fuck off. And he'll yell at us, we'll yell at him, and it's just the way it is.
And I'm hoping in the new place where he's in the kitchen, there's going to be less of that.
You know, you're getting on my fucking nerves now. I can't do anything until the kitchen works. But first I have to get out of here, otherwise they're gonna lock all my shit up. And I'm gonna look stupid.
Looking for Shopsons. It's hard to recommend Shopsons, but it's even harder to leave it out. The temperament of chef owner Kenny Shopson makes dining a risk. If he doesn't like your attitude, he won't hesitate to throw you out. A shame, considering you'd be missing a selection of more than 200 soups and hundreds of entrees, each prepared à la minute. One of the best meals is breakfast. Offerings include homemade pumpkin pancakes, corn and cornmeal waffles that will keep you feeling full for the entire day. The coffee is good, but you have to get it yourself. If you don't like it, you know what you can do.
On Friday night, I had dinner with a few friends, and we were the last people out, and got talking to Eve, and she said, if you have nothing better to do on Monday or Tuesday, come on by. They're loyal shops and customers as well, so it was like one phone call, and they're like, well, yeah.
This stove is 6 stoves. 40% stove from Sloppy Louie's and the 60% spare parts. Every burner is different. It has no legs. All the oven racks are different. Each oven has a different burner in it. The pilots haven't worked for 15 years. This one looks like a whore's ass. Scratches and bumps, a little bit bowed, and if you pour something on it, it always goes to the left. And if that flame goes on accidentally and the oil heats up too much, it'll explode. Just push it down the hole. All yours. Take it with me. Or maybe they'll use it as a cheap headstone. You know, this place is put together like somebody who wants to have a jigsaw puzzle, and he assembles it one piece at a time, but the pieces aren't pre-cut, he cuts them all. I'm moving to a different neighborhood, and I felt there in the first 3 or 4 days I was there a good deal of hostility, anger. Anger that I was the cause of the Magic Carpet's demise. Anger that I'm the harbinger of change, and I guess for most of the older people there, it means that they're closer to death. And that I felt that if I did something that was too cocky to put up an awning with no sign, cocky, anonymous, exclusive, I decided that it was an unfriendly act to go in there with my own style, and that I should moderate my style to include words and something that people could relate to and understand, so that I wouldn't be a stranger in a strange land. You know, it's not there, and you just float around the city like you're in a dream. You're attacked by the sights, the sounds, and the smells. Every neighborhood smells different. The crusty, probably Bruno over there. Nice brown crust on the bread with maybe sesame seeds.
So Kenny says it's about a week away.
Jose! Ari Jose. I've been kind of crippled, emotionally and physically too. I've been very enervated all the time by the burden of mental things. It's left some room for her to assert her capabilities, as opposed to constantly being whacked around by my effusive expression of confidence.
I'm ready, yeah. It didn't take long. I mean, it was really nice having a little bit of space in my life, which I never have, because I'm generally just running, rushing on everything that I have to do.
One, 2, 3 cheeses. What else? And on top of that, peppers, mushrooms, bok choy. We need lemons and limes up too, Jose. No, I want it under here. Okay. What else, Jose? What else we put in this fucking place? I'll probably have my same customers and an occasional person will drop in, but I'm cheap per product. In other words, the hamburger is big and the meat is fresh, but I'm expensive openers. You know, like you're in a poker game where you can't play the game unless you have Jacks or better. the entry price here is high. I don't have a 99-cent special. There's not much you can get for $6 either. Once you get over the entry price, you get your money's worth, but you have to be willing to. That's the way I did it years ago, is that I didn't want to have an adversarial relationship with my customers. I wanted them to be at a point where they could give me enough money that I don't have to worry whether they get 2 ounces or 10 ounces, or whether I put in macadamia nuts or I put in peanuts.
It's growth. You know, I'm very happy that at this stage in our life, it's exciting doing something new.
I went over just the egg dishes, so if somebody orders eggs, I think I can do it.
I called and left a message. They should come tomorrow. They don't. I'll use the regular.
I think.
I'm always amazed. Like, gets up every morning and doesn't complain, and like he's on his feet all day long. He's cooking and he's lifting like huge pots with like chicken and turkey, and he doesn't take any vacations. Always, constantly, every day, and like just every day.
It's a serious problem. Not being able to find the ingredients of my own fucking food. I don't know what the hot sauce is. I didn't think the salsa is. Now I can't find the garlic either. I'm starting to get angry. They're gonna be in. They're gonna be wanting food. Bingo. You can tell that I haven't been working for long. I still have a little hair on my arm. It's usually when you do this, you just get distracted for a second when it comes out like this. Boom! It gets into a subject that really has not much to do with me, but has to do with humanity. The great lack in America. The great belief that was our flaw. Once we lost our Christian background, or whatever the fuck we had, we never intellectually, as a country, tried to figure out what the meaning of life is. And we still don't. All these issues about terrorism, race, and education, and school prayer, it'd be a lot simpler if we had a meaning of life going for us. Not that that's easy to achieve, but nobody seems to be looking. Am I, with my busy work, seeking to inject meaning into my life? Fuck is the marinara sauce? The way that I choose to function is to pick an arbitrary, stupid goal, become totally involved in it, and pursue it with vigor. And what happens to you in that pursuit is your life. So understand they're stupid, but not stupid to pursue, because it's the only way you can inject meaning into your life. Otherwise, you're left with this great, why bother? No, it wasn't supposed to start yesterday. I wasn't open yet. It's just supposed to start today. So you don't have any extra baguettes? Make sure I get a dozen baguettes tomorrow, please. And and call that fucking asshole up and tell him he's an asshole, because I don't have the patience. Bye, Victor.
Oh, much better. Yeah, this one is better. I like it here. I like the floor, I like everything. Mucho cleanness and nice.
So I don't expect that much name. But I may be wrong. Where the fuck are the shrimp, Jose?
What's it? Which one?
He happened to be very fortunate that he was forced to make the right decision.
You can tell I'm important. I got a double order of chorizo.
The customer isn't always right is one of my favorites.
Lunch special, 2 beef tacos, potato curry.
At some point when it's really busy, when Jose was totally immersed for an hour, 2 hours, totally zoned out, totally involved in the details of what we're doing, totally gone. That's when it becomes peaceful. That's what makes it a seductive thing to do. You feel cleansed afterwards, better than a good night's sleep.
It's all in his head. Whatever he has in there, that is his idea for that dish. And that's something that should make that restaurant work wherever it is.
Chunky lamb is gone. Nice.
Chicharrones.
Makes me so fucking happy.
Yeah, very good chicharrones.
Some of them go twice, you know.
Special chicharrón.
In other words, they get to be 2 sets. And they go there to get a shot, and they fly away, and they come back and they get another shot.
Taco de pera, chop chop.
See, put it in. We got stoned to go to the movies, and the movie was all about people eating and fucking themselves to death. And all we wanted to do was eat and fuck. And since we were out, we decided we would eat. And the very first restaurant we came to, we swore we'd eat it. Very first McDonald's to open in Manhattan. 3 large, athletic, black males with sawed-off shotguns come in screaming at the manager, evidently bopping the shit out of him, telling him to open the safe. There's a third guy just standing in the center with his shotgun, turning around, watching everybody. All this is going on, and your mother, who had gotten French fries and was interrupted by the robbers, got up, went to the counter to get ketchup, and then came back and sat and ate her French fries.
You know, we never made a lot of money, but we got tickets to the, you know, whatever, like my Rolling Stones tickets, you know, to me, music, there's the Rolling Stones and there's everybody else. And every time the Rolling Stones came to town, I would try to get tickets, and at the very last minute, someone would come through with primo seats. Yeah.
This is like another one of my half-baked philosophies. The first duty of everybody in life is to realize that they're a piece of shit. They're selfish, they're self-centered, they're not very good. And that you're willing to sacrifice 20,000 people in another country just so that you can go to a Wings concert. You've sacrificed the lives of 100,000 Chinese female babies just so you can rent this fucking camera and do your stupid art project. No problem. You're a piece of shit. Once you realize you're a piece of shit, it's not so hard to take. Because then you don't have this feeling that you're a good person all the time. And let me tell you something. Feeling that you're a good person all the time is like having a brand new car with no scratches on it. It's a real responsibility which is almost impossible to live up to. Being a piece of shit and then occasionally doing something that's good and true, it's a much easier place to be. And I think that's really important. I always try to raise my kids to understand that they're not that terrific. And that not being that terrific, that's okay, because most people who say they are terrific, Bill Clinton, Cardinal Egan, anybody you want to talk about, they're not so terrific. Martha Stewart, they're not so fucking terrific either, and there's nothing wrong with being not so terrific, you know. In fact, that's what the whole ball game is about being not so terrific and accepting it.